show, Climate Smart Agricultural Practices. Yesterday I told you about it. Today we're taking you back to the northern region of Ghana, where a yam seed production company has adopted a new approach of planting yams. Take a look.
Throughout the humid African tropics, root, tuber, and banana crops are the most important food staple. Approximately 300 million people in developing countries depend on RTB value chain, namely cassava, potato, sweet potato, bananas, and yams for food security and income. Yam is an important staple food crop in Ghana and is produced throughout the country. Ghana is the leading exporter of yam, despite the fact that it is the third largest producer in the world after Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire. Like most things in the world today, climate change is a major threat to yam production systems. So a team of agriculture researchers have introduced a new climate-smart technology to rapidly multiply yam seeds for farmers.
Farmers will go through the laborious process of raising yam mounds, and at the end of the period, they cannot plant all the yam because they don't have sufficient seed yam to plant. And it has been so over and over the years. So the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IITA, based in Nigeria, they came out with this technology. We worked in collaboration with them. And the technology is to produce seed yam at a very fast rate using the yam vine instead of the tuber.
Yam is not only a food crop, it is a cash crop. Yam contributes about 17% of the agricultural subsector GDP and employs about 300 smallholder farmers in the northern belt alone. But for many years, yam farmers in Ghana have used the yam mini-set to plant yam, which means averagely every farmer saves about 30% of the yam tubers he produces in the year for replanting.
Yam is a very important crop in this country, and in particularly here in the northern part of the country. In fact, here in the yam producing areas, once they run out of yam, they tell you the hunger has started. So the technology has come handy so that, one, we can rapidly multiply the seed yam that we have released at the research stations and be able to supply many farmers with that seed yam at a go.
From here, the ladies are going to sit down and do the cutting of the single nodes.
Alhaji Amadou Mahama is one farmer who has adapted this technology. Amadou is the CEO of Hikmah Farms.
HIKMA is a new seed company which was established in 2016. And HIKMA is focused on producing seed yam for smallholder farmers. This is our main business. HIKMA has been in operation for only 3 years. And in the last 3 years, what we've been doing is trying to adapt a technology, a new technology for producing yam, working with a number of partners in the research institutions and the Ghana Climate Innovation Center.
GCIC is a pioneering business incubator with a unique focus of developing SME ventures and entrepreneurs in Ghana's green economy. Their mission is to develop and support an exceptional set of transformational ventures and entrepreneurs who are pioneering adaptive and mitigating solutions for climate change issues in Ghana. They focus on 5 key economic sectors: energy efficiency and renewable energy, solar power, climate smart agriculture, domestic waste management, water management, and purification.
Hikmah Farms is one of the businesses we have actually supported. What Hikmah Farms sought to do was to solve the problem of food security. And he did that by coming up with what we call developing yam seedlings, multiplication of yam seedlings. Ordinarily, what one would do is to take a tuber of yam and perhaps cut it into maximum 3 or 4. But he came up with a technology that will give you yam nodes, and you are able to multiply the nodes into several thousands of seedlings that you can now plant and have yam. We thought the idea was brilliant.
Traditionally, a major constraint in yam production has been the requirement of large quantities of planting materials on a per-acre basis. As many as 10,000 normal seed yams are required to plant 1 hectare in order to produce an economic quantity of ware yams. This affects the income of the farmer. The scarcity and high cost of purchasing seed yams makes this problem worse, hence the need to improve seed yam production techniques.
This technology is different from the existing method of mini sets to produce yam because it uses the vine of the yam instead of the tuber. So the difference is that instead of using part of your produce as seed, there is a new method to produce it from the vines instead of saving up to 30% of your produce to use as seed. So this makes the food that the farmer has produced more available for his own use, for the use of the family, or for sale. So this is how this technology is different. And the multiplication rate of using this vine with this technology, with 1 plant growing, I can produce 300 seedlings from just 1 plant. But with the mini set technology, with 1 full yam, you are going to get about 6 pieces. So there's a big difference in the multiplication rate using the vine technology and the mini sets.
Meet Abubakar Wahid. He's a farmhand here at HIKMA. He finds the innovation very interesting. Wahid understands fully how the process works.
When you cut a single node, and the process of cutting it, you call it nodal cutting. So when you cut and plant, you see that 2 weeks after the planting, it will germinate. And when it germinates, at least it should last for about 4 to 3 weeks, and you transfer it into the ridges. So when you cut and plant, you call that foundation seed. And from the foundation seed, it moves into the ridges. And from the ridges, you have a tuber not less than 200 grams. So that's what mostly you can sell to a farmer, or you sell the foundation seed itself to the farmer to go and produce what he or she is about to do.
Like Wahid, Asana and her colleagues cut the nodes and plants in the trays before they are transferred to the greenhouse facilities nearby. It is a procedure they have mastered very well.
Technology makes things easier in a way than the way they used to. So this will help farmers to produce more yam tubers than they used to use the tuber to plant in order to produce yams. I believe this vines way of doing it will bring out more yams than the tuber yams they used to plant. And obviously when you get a high yield of this, since it's a new thing, we are hoping and praying that farmers will make high yield of this new way of planting yam so that they can make more money.
This is one of our primary objectives, to make farming more interesting to young people. What you see them doing is using skills that they have learned in school. These young people, some of them have training from agric schools, some of them have just completed high school, but with the basic levels of education that they have, they are able to adapt to this technology very, very quickly, and they are very willing to learn and to come into farming as a business. We see them not only as employees, but in the future, some of these people can become our outgrowers and actually run farming as small businesses at their various locations. So already we are seeing a very positive impact of this on young people. It is changing their mindset that farming is just carrying a hoe. You know, they are seeing this as a new way to farm, and they are very happy about it.
Alhaji goes around the greenhouse to ensure that the plants are growing well. The greenhouse is needed to enhance the proper growth of the yam seeds in a regulated climate condition.
We do that using heat extractors, a misting system, and circulatory fans. And all this equipment operates through a smart switch, which will turn on and off depending on the requirements that we have set. We've set some requirements that the temperature and humidity shouldn't exceed. As soon as that is achieved, the systems will come on and bring the temperatures down to the levels that we want.
Okay, so I can see this, is this soil or whatever, this substance. What is it, and how does it help in the culturing of the yam seedling?
What you see here is cocoa peat. Cocoa peat is a soilless media. It is the substrate that is used to grow in hydroponic conditions. So in this greenhouse, once again, we grow in a soilless media using cocoa peat as the planting media. It originally comes from coconut husk, but this is a processed material which has been imported for the purpose of growing in hydroponics.
How efficient are the systems that you use here? When about the nutrients that is supplied to the plants and its relevance to climate smart agriculture?
You see, in this whole place, we try to maximize the use, in fact, let's call it optimize the use of all resources. First of all, we are doing 5,000 plants in this small area, and we are using measured quantities of water. You see, this room is very dry, but the plants are looking lush and green. It's because we are measuring the water and irrigating 7 minutes a day, twice a day. And that is enough water and nutrients mixed. All that is done through our irrigation system, through these irrigation drip lines. Our irrigation system is automated to run twice a day for 7 minutes. And this is powered from our own solar power system.
Here at HIKMA, we are running on climate control. So we're trying to control two things, the heat and the humidity. So these two components are very important for us because we need this greenhouse to be at one stable temperature. So we use an app to maximize efficiency of the climate control. With this app, we're able to look at the temperature and the humidity, and if it drops below a certain degree, aka 37 degrees, the misters, the circulatory fans, the aeroponics pump, and the irrigation pump will all come on to make sure that it stays below that temperature.
Amidou has not always been a farmer. He retired from his job in the power sector to pursue a career in farming. This innovation is for him a practical way of fighting the devastating impact of climate change and improving food security.
We are looking at the impact from the point of view of our target. We expect smallholder yam farmers to be able to add value to their businesses. We expect smallholder farmers to be able to make more profit. And from that, we expect our business to grow. We expect our business to grow slowly. Even though we have a good product, we know that it's going to take time for farmers to buy into this new product, looking at the experience of the adoption of improved seeds. Even though it's proved that improved seeds is the foundation of transformation of agriculture, it's a slow process, and we have that in perspective as we grow. The second thing we are looking at is that over the next 5 years, we expect to be able to expand our production to at least 10 million seedlings in this facility here. And these 10 million seedlings will focus on varieties that are important, especially for the export market. The export market for yam is a very lucrative market, and this market is constrained because of the availability of the elite varieties that's preferred in the export market, like the Puna and the Lavacos. This technology can multiply all that in a very short time. So we expect the export market, which is a premium market, to patronize our products.
So if we are able to multiply the seed yam, and then we are able to supply farmers, and they get sufficient quantities to plant, definitely the yam mounds will not be empty again. They will plant whatever acreage that they plan to grow in a particular year, and probably even expand, because seed yam will no longer be a constraint.
HIKMA Agro Services and its partners are working very hard at producing clean seed yam and focusing on the deployment of climate-smart yam varieties that yield better in water-stressed environments.
Our partners, who are the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, the CSIR Savannah Research Institute, and the CSIR Crops Research Institute, and finally the Ghana Climate Innovation Center. These partners have all in various ways provided us with technical and financial support to do a number of interventions to augment our own resources to move this intervention as far as we've come. We are looking forward to additional partners in the private sector and the development sector to join us in what we are doing so that this technology can be rolled out very quickly to farmers, since this can change the face of yam farming in Ghana in a very short time.
Having gone there to see the real things for ourselves, we feel that in the next couple of years, food security as far as yam is concerned should be a thing of the past. Having done the demonstration farm and the willingness and appreciation of the people and the fact that they've indicated this is something we really wanted and we've seen it, then we feel that it's going to work.
Despite the abundance of resources for agric production, Ghana remains a net importer of food with outdated production methods and inefficient value chains. Climate adaptation solutions to agriculture, like what Alhaji and his team at HIKMA is doing, will improve production and increase the resiliency of smallholder farmers in climate change.